got to go home now. And he takes off and he goes home. So they suffer, they get in prison, they get beaten, they go to other churches, and eventually they come back and they say, hey, God's called us to go on another missionary journey. And Barnabas says to Paul, sounds good, let me first get John Mark. And Paul's like, we ain't bringing that guy. That guy's a chump. When the going got tough, he went home to his mommy. I don't want John Mark coming with us. And in the book of Acts, the contention between two church leaders, Barnabas and Paul, was so sharp over the matter of John Mark that they split up. And the book of Acts then follows the journey of the Apostle Paul, and you see Dr. Luke is with him, and Timothy and Silas, and you never really hear about Barnabas again. He went on, he did missionary journeys, I'm sure he preached and did a good job, but you don't hear his story because he chose to take his nephew John Mark. Well, the years go by, and Paul gets in prison, and then you read in 2 Timothy chapter 4, where he writes this letter, he says, please bring with you John Mark, because now I see how profitable he is. Something happened where they could fix that relationship. They could reconcile. And aren't you glad that they did? Because John Mark writes down the Gospel of Mark. And then Matthew, the tax collector, sees it. He writes his Gospel. John, as an old man, sees it. He writes down his Gospel. I mean, things can get fixed. Let me say it again. Things can get fixed. Relationships can get fixed. God changes hearts. Peter denied Jesus 3 times. And yet Jesus forgave him. Jesus went to him personally. Think of the villains at the crucifixion of Christ. I mean, just think about which one do you think is the worst. Let me give you 3 of them. You have the corrupt politician, and none of us like corrupt politicians. Pontius Pilate, who knows a man is innocent and yet allows him to be publicly condemned, convicted, and crucified. He knew he was innocent. Can you imagine the riots in the streets? If America publicly crucified a man that everybody knew was innocent. That's wicked. Because he was afraid of the popular opinion. Second one, you have the Pharisees, the religious leaders that rule the churches. Imagine the 20 biggest megachurch pastors all conspire against the man. They spread lies from the pulpit. They move the religious people to be angry with an innocent man. Wow, that's pretty villainous, wouldn't you agree? But then who's the one that we all hate the most? Judas Iscariot, a greedy man that had a problem with stealing. And he betrays his friend for 30 shekels. He feels so bad that he returns the money. He feels so bad that he goes out and he takes his own life. And yet when the gospel writers write about Pilate, his name's Pilate. When they write about the Pharisees, they're just the Pharisees. But when they write that name Judas, they add the betrayer. To all of us, Judas is the worst. Why? Because he betrayed a friend. Today, if you got some people you need to forgive, will you forgive them? I know we're going to come to baptism in just a few minutes if you want to get ready. About 2 weeks ago on the ESPN UFC Pass, there were some fights. It was just an Apex night, which is the smaller thing. It wasn't a big ticket. There was no big names on the card. And at the Apex, there's not even a crowd there. It's almost a silent show. And in the undercard of this minor card, there was a guy named Isaac Delagram. And he's one